Well, hello and welcome to everybody joining us here live today. All of those that are watching the replay, we are so appreciative that you've taken time out of your busy day. And this is such a fun topic for us. Facebook, obviously something we've been heavily focused on over the years as a team at Post Planner, and we're going to help you find a never-ending supply of content to share on Facebook. And I am Rebecca Radice. I'm here with Post Planner, and you can tweet along with us here today. This is a part of a brand new series called PP Live, Post Planner Live, and that's the hashtag PP Live. So if you want to share along, tweet out anything that you learn here today, we would love you for that. You can also connect with us on Twitter at Rebecca Radice is where you can find me, at Post Planner, and then most definitely if you're not following along with us on Facebook, you can find us at Post Planner as well. So let's just dive right in today into how you can just find that never-ending supply of Facebook content by doing a few key things. And these are going to be pretty simple things, but hopefully things you haven't thought about in depth. One of them is a super cool way to repurpose your own successful content. Also, how to find buzzworthy content in your industry. Going to show you a couple of quick tips and loads of super cool tools that are some of my favorite tools out there, and then how you can see what top pages are sharing and do it all with ease. So like I said, just really easy ways to find great content that's going to engage your audience. So before we jump in, quick pop quiz to anybody that knows this off the top of their head. How much content is shared on Facebook every minute? I think we know that we have this huge stream of content coming at us within our news feed, and we're competing with that as marketers, as small business owners, as maybe an agency or a social media manager. You're fighting against this every day, and the numbers are staggering. 2.4 million pieces of content is shared on Facebook every single minute. And if that leaves your head spinning, it's really pretty easy to see why. As I said, as a marketer, your job is to find great content to share on Facebook, but more my cut is really going to give flight to your posts and then naturally boosting your content throughout the news feed. So everything we're going to talk about here today is all about organic reach within the news feed. You're not going to have to spend a penny, not going to have a big brand budget to do any of the tips that we're going to talk about. So let's go ahead. Let's dive right into our first topic, which is looking to your own successful content. And my guess is, if you have been marketing your business online for any amount of time, you've probably created some pretty great content out there. And to me, why not go ahead and leverage that proven content that continues to perform, and it's all just through repurposing. Believe it or not, 29% of leading marketers systematically reuse and repurpose content. This is a secret that the top marketers out there use time and time again. And this right here was a piece that we had created after an interview, after a webinar, and I just took my handy dandy little whiteboard and did the bullet points. So there were 9 different tips that we had shared within the webinar, and we just put that together into a quick little graphic and tweeted that out, posted that. So it's very simple to repurpose your content, but oftentimes we're moving so fast, we don't think about how can we take that great content that we've already created and how can we reposition it as new media, and then what format is going to provide the biggest bang for your marketing buck. And to me, it's a simple two-step formula. And the first step is taking a look at the data. This is really where it all begins. So first and foremost, you're going to go into Google Analytics. And I know a lot of times I see, you know, the eyes glaze over. You're thinking, no way, I don't want to get into Google Analytics. But I'm going to show you a really simple way that you can start to drill down into your top performing content. So you're going to go into Google Analytics, you're going to scroll down to behavior, then site content, and then content drill down. And I just used some arrows here to show you exactly what that looks like. And then what you're going to find is what you see here. It's going to be a list of your top performing content. And before we make a list of what that's going to look like, and then I tell you what you're going to do with it, you're going to take one more step. And step number 2 might feel a little strange to you, but you're going to determine your relevance or the relevance of that content. And as I said, if you've been creating content for a while, like we have been at Post Planner, well, some of that might be outdated, might be a little old, might be irrelevant. And so you're going to scroll through those top 25, 50 posts and first determine what's old and what isn't maybe worth updating, what isn't worth repurposing. And I circled number 18 here just because it's an older post for us, but continues to perform how to find sexy Instagram names that aren't taken. So just look at, is there something that's really not evergreen anymore? Maybe, you know, there's been updates, and of course there's been so many updates to Instagram, but just look at your content and figure out, is it worth your time to update that blog post? Is it worth your time to update that content and then repurpose it into new content? If no, we're going to move past those and we're going to move into the next step. And step number 3, and I know I said 2 steps, but I skipped over that important one of the irrelevant, because I think oftentimes we get really excited. We look at our top 10, top 25, and we think, woohoo, you know, we've got all of this top performing content that's still driving traffic over to our blog, over to our website, and we forget that there might be a lot of changes that have happened that we're going to have to update. So before you take that next step, think about that, then move into step number 3, where you're going to pick your top 10 highest performing posts. So think about, what are those topics that are really going to be interesting to your audience? What are those topics that you want to be known for, that you've been writing about maybe for years, but you feel as if you haven't done a great job in really aligning those topics with your business, with your brand, with your name, and you want to be synonymous with. And for example, here, I circled get more likes or get more fans on your Facebook page. That's something we have written about multiple times and something we definitely want to be known for. You know, Post Planner, if you don't know our history, was really founded on Facebook and as a Facebook application, and helping you as a marketer find proven, scientifically proven content to get more engagement on Facebook. So it's been critical to us to do what, you know, we call as eating the dog food, practice what we preach, get out there and find content, share that content, write about what our findings are, how that's working for us. And so that's going to be a really important piece that we could go back through and repurpose with some purpose. So as you dive into your Google Analytics, write down your top 10 performers. And now we're going to move into how to actually take those top 10 performers, and you're going to decide on how to repurpose that. And there are so many different ways that you could repurpose this content. You know, it could be video, graphics, a tutorial, maybe a slide deck. The sky is really the limit to how many different ways and in what various formats you can repurpose this content. And we have tested hundreds of different options, and I'm going to give you a few of our favorites just to give you a couple of examples. One of them is SlideShare, and I'm going to give you a step-by-step into how we use SlideShare to repurpose our content. But more than that, we then take that, and sure, it's terrific, and we're talking all about sharing on Facebook, but don't forget that just about everything we talk about here today can be done across all of your social channels. So here's a screenshot of a slide from a particular slide deck. And believe it or not, this was a repurpose of a repurpose. I'd actually written an article that's one of my top performing articles of all time, and repurposed that into a webinar and then into various other formats. And one of them was just to screenshot one of the slides and then tweet it out. So don't think that in all of the ideas that we're giving you here today, you have to stop at Facebook, because there's plenty of other places that you can put that content. And one that we'll talk about is YouTube, and how to take those top performing blog posts and do what we've done a lot of, which is create not only a series around those blog posts where we break those down into a little bit more detail, but also short, quick tutorials that we post on YouTube. You could do this with Periscope. You could do this with Facebook Live, with so much video that we're also going to talk about. But as I said, the sky is the limit. You are really only limited by your creativity when it comes to repurposing your content. So let's start with those top networks that we have shared or repurposed our content across and found really great success. So several years ago, I started to play around with SlideShare. And as a speaker, I thought to myself, wow, there's just so much time that I'm putting into these slide decks. There has to be something more that I can do with these. And so I started uploading those to SlideShare and seeing the magical traffic generating powers that SlideShare has. And whether you're a speaker, whether you're out there creating webinars or not, you can use SlideShare to repurpose your content and then use it as a lead generating magnet to get it back out there in front of a whole new. We did this with different areas that we've created at Post Planner, but one of our most successful was with Tailwind, and we were just blown away by the reach that we got on SlideShare. But more than that, and we talk so much about the true ROI of social media, and of course, you know, views, those are exciting. They're a nice pat on the back. Hey, great job, team. You put together a terrific slide deck. But for us, we want to know, how many contacts did that actually turn into? How many customers did that actually turn into? And so our presentation that we had done with Tailwind, while it got almost 200,000 views, turned into 732 targeted customers or targeted contacts rather, and 12 new customers. So if you're thinking about where should I spend my time, SlideShare is a great place to repurpose content that you can then take, share on Facebook, share in a completely different format than maybe you shared the first time around, taking a screenshot, maybe sharing the entire slide deck, and opening yourself up to that whole new audience. So you can see here 173,000 views, as I said, broke that down into those targeted contacts, those customers, and very simple way too for you to do this. It might feel like it's an overwhelming process. You don't have a designer, you don't have a huge team. Well, you don't have to. And there's a very simple way to go about taking those top 10 performing posts. So we're just going to think about grabbing one of those posts and taking these 10 action steps to repurpose that post into an engaging SlideShare deck. So number one, you're going to identify the keywords you're targeting. So let's just say that this was a post about Facebook organic growth, something we've definitely written quite a bit about. And let's say we happen to hit page 1 of Google for that particular keyword. Well, more than likely then, we're going to branch out a little bit. We're going to want to find another similar keyword that we can rank for so that we can really own page 1. Same difference for you. And the way to do that is to change up your title a little bit. So number 2, you're going to research a new title. And you're going to optimize around this keyword, which is a really important part of this process. So to do this, you're going to head over to one of my favorite tools, number 3, which is SEMrush, and you're going to determine how difficult it's going to be to rank for that keyword. So you're going to look at a couple of things. You're going to look at the supply and the demand, and you're going to look at how many people have actually written content around that particular keyword. You're going to see how many people are searching for that particular keyword to determine, is there enough supply out there, or is there an overabundance of supply, meaning too many people have written about that topic in comparison to the demand. So I won't lie, this is a part of the process that will take you the longest amount of time, but once you get into the groove of doing this, really within 30 minutes, you'll have this entire process done in putting together a slide deck that can potentially go viral for you on SlideShare, but more than that, turns into some new great evergreen content that you can share over on Facebook. So number 4, tool is to test your new headline. So go over to CoSchedule's Headline Optimizer and play around with your title. Get a feel for the emotional value of your headline. Maybe you're a little too wordy and you need to shorten that down. I find that it's just a great way to really get to the heart of the matter, get to the core of what you're promising about this particular topic and what your audience is going to find on the other side when they click through. And then number 5, and this is the important one, you're going to make a list of the top 5 takeaways from your blog post. So if you wrote about Facebook organic growth, go through your blog post and write down. I find it's very easy just to copy and paste from your blog into a Google Doc. And this is how we do it on the Post Planner team. So everybody across the team has access to it. And just copy and paste your top 5 key takeaways that anybody would want to know that is looking to, say, increase or improve Facebook organic growth, that's wanting to get seen in the Facebook newsfeed. What does that person want to know? What do they want to learn from you? And what can you share with them within your slide deck? So write those down. And then we're going to move to number 6, another one of my favorite tools. And this is where it becomes super easy. So maybe you've created PowerPoints. Maybe you're creating them within Google presentations, and you're thinking to yourself, there's no way this process could take 30 minutes. That's where a easy template like Haiku Deck comes into play, where you can just drop those 5 points you just came up with into a pre-created template. And then number 7, This one's kind of optional and is really dependent on your bandwidth, how much time you have. You could hop over to a tool like Canva and you could create a cover slide that's branded to your business. So as you saw on that slide, well, the one at the beginning of this, shared that was on automation with Tailwind. That's a customized slide where it's got your branding, maybe has your logo, your name, and feels like your company. And so you could do that in a tool like Canva, create your slide with an optimized title. Number 8, you're going to upload your slide deck to SlideShare, and don't forget, this is really important, that you add your metadata, and that is AKA your description. So make sure you're back to my first points, which is using those keywords so you can really help yourself get found as people are searching for that information. And then, as I said, within 30 minutes, it just does not take that long to repurpose your content when you're doing it in just a simple way like we've laid out for you here. So you've got a presentation that's perfectly repurposed. And now number 10, you're just gonna grab that link from SlideShare. You're gonna add it to Facebook with a quick description, and off you go. You've got evergreen content that's been repurposed in a whole new format in front of a whole new audience, and now you've gotten it back in front of your audience on Facebook that maybe they saw that blog post a long time ago, but boy, they don't remember it. And they certainly don't remember all these key takeaways that you're sharing within your slide deck. So SlideShare, absolutely hands down one of my favorite tools to repurpose. And this pulls in a really close number 1, number 2, Pinterest. And Pinterest, if you are still one of those people that scratches your head wondering, I don't know if my audience is over there. I don't know if this is really the place I need to be. I would tell you that pretty much no matter your industry, no matter your niche, you're going to be able to find a community that is eager to repin your content, to share that content. And if you've followed me, connected with me for any amount of time, you know that I have had a love affair with Pinterest since day one. I think there were a lot of misconceptions since day one about Pinterest, where maybe it appeared to just be a virtual pin board on the surface. And you heard a lot about people that were planning out their weddings and just pinning based around that, or birthday ideas or food ideas. And as I said, it's so much more than that these days. And as a content creator, if you are out there actively creating content for your business, this is a place you have to be, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And in January 2015, I was fortunate to be a part of the marketing team here at Post Planner when we launched the Post Planner Pinterest account. And what is that skyrocket for us in the sense of what it's done for our organic growth, for our website and blog growth. And today, Pinterest is our second highest social traffic referral source, and it only falls behind organic, direct, and Facebook referrals. So it's definitely become a very integral part to our overall marketing strategy, and it doesn't have to be hard for you to use it within your business and then also your marketing strategy from a repurposing point of view. So here I shared a bunch of tips of the day that we did. So we have a Facebook 30-day challenge, and if you're not familiar with that, basically it's exactly what it sounds like. It's 30 days of you walking step by step through what it takes to build a powerful, profitable, engaging Facebook page. So we took all of those tips and chunked them down into short little tips that we posted all over the place. And first what we did was we created graphics that we could pin to Pinterest and then share over on Facebook. So think about how you can use Pinterest to continue to drive traffic back to your Facebook page, back to events that you're talking about over on Facebook, or content that you're sharing over on Facebook, and the multiple different ways that you can use visual content to do that. And there's some really, really simple steps to, exactly how we created these tips of the day. And as I said, none of it has to be convoluted. You just have to pull a very short tip, be brief, head over into, Canva again and create those tips, and then start pinning with links back over to your content and get those posted on Facebook. So next way to repurpose your content is, of course, video. Viewers who like a company's video online, 90% more likely to make a purchase from that company in the future. Just a huge stat when you think about video and jumping on the video bandwagon and its ability to really be that connector, that bridge of trust and engagement between you and your business. And of course, video has just taken on a life of its own over the last year as we've watched so many changes transpire, from Periscope to Meerkat and the fallout within that, to Facebook Live now. And of course we had Blab in between there, which we watched the demise of, unfortunately, as marketers. So it's just ever evolving, and certainly evolving at a rapid pace. But there are very easy ways, even if you say, you know what, I'm not comfortable on camera, don't like to see myself, don't like to hear myself, there's still a lot of different ways you can leverage a video to repurpose your content, even given those circumstances. So I'm going to share a few different ways to do that, and then some really cool, some of our favorite tools. So you have two different ways that you can use video. You can create your own from your top content. So exactly what we're talking about here today, that top 10 list that you put together of those top trafficked posts that you want to repurpose. You can repurpose into a video, and this was a blog post, 11 data-driven tips to create the perfect social media post, that we turned into a video. And it was about an hour long, and we talked through every single one of those tips and how you could actually implement those tips into your business. But of course, as I said, I know not everybody is comfortable with that. So if you're not comfortable with being on camera, you'll appreciate my next tip. Some of the tools that we use that we use on a daily basis, that we love to create those videos, of course, YouTube. To not talk about that, Magisto, an app that is a lot of fun, very, very simple, as is Videorama, to just cut, trim, combine photos, turn them into a beautiful video by adding your music, adding your sound effects, even special effects. You could put overlays, and you do not need to have a ton of video experience to do this. So some of those tools are our absolute favorite, and at the top of my list is Adobe Spark. We use Adobe Spark all the time. If you're not familiar with the Adobe Spark series or suite of tools, video is one of our favorites, as I said, because within a matter of minutes. You can create a beautiful video that this one was just a quick promotional video that we created on how to use social media automation to improve your marketing and posted on Facebook. And to do this, you're just taking a series of images, still images, so you don't have to create a video. You just take your images. It could be 5 images, it could be 6, 7. I find that about between 5 to 7 keeps you right at about 30 seconds, which will hold the attention of your Facebook audience. And then you just do a voiceover. So it's as simple as upload and then do a quick little voiceover about how to use social media automation. And you could create that for each one of those images, and then automatically Adobe turns all of those images, your quick voiceover, and turns it into a video that you can share on Facebook. So more than using it for a promotional tool, think about how you can take those top 10 posts and repurpose them into a quick little video using Adobe Spark. So number 2, if you're not that person that wants to be on camera, you can curate other people's content and share this on Facebook. And how does this help you? Well, we know that top content, when shared with the right audience, increases engagement, which increases your interaction, which helps with your organic search. So one of the first places that you can do this is to go to YouTube, and you can search by we were looking for Facebook productivity tips, and you're going to look at all of the different options that you can find here, but really your key for identifying top content is this. You're going to want to look at length, so you want to keep this as short as possible. Remember the time span of the people that are looking at this content. So keep those videos under 5 minutes, even shorter if possible. Thumbs up versus thumbs down. So you want to look at how many thumbs up versus how many thumbs down do those videos have. You want to keep that around a 20-to-1 ratio, meaning people are really happy, got a lot of thumbs up. Look at that positive feedback, and then look at those views. Very important to just give you an immediate idea of, was this popular with people that we're looking for Facebook productivity tips. And then definitely, depending on your industry, look at how old it is. So top is 5 months old, dependent on if that was the social media industry, if that was specific to maybe Instagram or Facebook. 5 months is a lifetime in social media. So you're going to want to watch that very carefully, make sure that there's nothing in there that's outdated. So I would say 6 months or newer is where you want to stay. However, depending on your industry, that could really change just because of all of the updates and the changes that are taking place within that. So just a really quick way that if you haven't created something and you need something to share on Facebook, and looking at what other people have shared on YouTube is really going to help you out in several different ways. So we talked about the organic reach and helping you get out there in the news feed. But more than that, it gives you the opportunity to start connecting with these people. So tagging them on Facebook, recognizing their great content, starting to build rapport with other like-minded individuals. And we're going to talk a little bit about influencer marketing as well. And this is another way for you to build those influential relationships by tagging people, by giving them a shout out on, wow, just watched these top 3 productivity tips. Number 1, absolutely hands down my favorite. And here's why. Because people that are paying attention They're going to see who you are. They're going to, take a look at your page, and hopefully they're going to choose to connect with you. And more than that, they're going to start to take a look at the content that you're sharing and start sharing your content too. So it's that whole law of reciprocity and starting to build those relationships that will last you a lifetime. And they really do in the social media world. If you cultivate those relationships, if you spend time interacting with those people, it's all going to come back around to you. Second place you can find great content, video content, is Vimeo. And Vimeo has this super cool human curated staff picks area where exactly that. Staff is coming in and they're finding all of their favorite video content and they're curating it into this one location. So dependent on what you're looking for, you can search by category, by channel, by group, so many different ways that you can search for it. And I think one of the things that I appreciate is the idea that humans, not just machines, are handpicking this content. So as you start to get a feel for what category works best for your business or your industry, it'll be really simple for you to just pop in here and find something that your audience is going to find interesting. And then Vine. So not everything you post, and I know we've talked a lot about this in previous webinars, has to be business related. And Vine can be a fun place to sprinkle in some fun, engaging, trending content, as this is with Pokemon Go, trending content that adds a nice mix to your posting strategy. So Vine can be that place where you can find something a little bit different, maybe not the standard business type of content that you're sharing. So a recap of where you're going to begin this entire process of repurposing is to look in your Google Analytics, determine if that content's still relevant, pick your top or your highest performing posts, those top trafficked posts that are still driving a whole lot of traffic to you, and then decide how you're going to repurpose them. And then most of all, have fun. Have fun with all of that. All right, so next up, number 2 is in finding great content that you can share on Facebook is to see what top influencers are sharing. You can monitor your competition, you can monitor those people within your space and really learn from their success. And of course, this is not about being a copycat, not about duplicating what they're out there doing, but seeing what they're doing well and being able to see how that would fit into your business in a unique way, a way that's very specific to your business. So you can do this in a few different ways. First of all, you can go to the section within your Facebook Insights, which is Pages to Watch. And under Pages to Watch, you can add all of those pages that are similar to you, that you really want to track how they're doing and what their performance looks like every single day, every single week. So here I just show you a quick snapshot of a few pages that we're watching: HubSpot, Hootsuite, Social Media Examiner, of course, Kim Garst, who just crushes it every single day on Facebook. And we're able to see what are their total page likes look like. How about this last week, or their posts? How many times did they post? What is their engagement on those posts? So it'll start to give you a feel for what they're sharing, and then you're able to click through and do a deeper analysis of what type of content they're sharing, how their audience is really responding to that content, how they're interacting with it, and then maybe give you some thoughts as to what you could adjust within your content strategy there on Facebook as well. Another tool that just makes it really easy to see what your friends are sharing, what those influencers are sharing across social media, is a tool called Nuzzle. And Nuzzle curates all of this content that people across social media are sharing, and they serve it up to you and they say, hey, a lot of the people you're connected to are sharing this article, so it might be a really great idea for you to take a look at it. So it's a good thing to be able to identify what that top shared content is. Go ahead and possibly share that over on Facebook if it makes sense, but then also you can click right through to any of these people, any of these tweets or these posts on Facebook, and interact, engage with those people. So another nice way to start to identify the content, how can I get involved with them, how can I start to interact, and then how can I share their content, start to tag them, and again, build that rapport. You can also use Post Planner to find thousands of scientifically proven articles and images. And that is exactly what we are built for, is for you to, rather than spending all of this time running all over the web, trying to find great content, instead we do all of the heavy lifting for you, where we go in and we look at what you can see here, which are these stars. We look at how popular has this content been, and we give it a nice rating. And as Mike Alton at the Social Media Hat says, the key when you're in Post Planner and looking at this content is to choose content that your audience can take one look at, appreciate, and then react to with a like, a comment, or a share. So it's finding that perfect mix, that nice balance of content, and being able to say, you know what, this has performed really well across social media. And I can see here that people have already deemed it very popular. And Mike's kind of outlined that here with his arrows here in this graphic. It was, you can see how when it was posted, you can click through, you can look right at that post, and you can make that determination that based off the fact that that's a page that's sharing content that's very similar to yours, they have a very similar audience, you've got science that backs the fact that this is going to perform well on your Facebook page too. And then you can use the app to find or see top performing content for any niche. And these are all, again, ranked by that virality or that star rating. So you could add a hashtag. Here I added social media. You could add a keyword, maybe somebody's social media profile. So if there's somebody, an influencer that you just really love, everything they post to Facebook or everything that they tweet, you could add that social profile and pull in all of their content and kind of scroll through that and see what they've been sharing. You could also pull in by RSS feed, and what it's going to do is pull up, you know, those Facebook pages or those tweets or those RSS feeds that are sharing content around that keyword, and then you could just quickly and easily share that over to your Facebook page. And then once you've done that search, you can just add that content to the app. So you've now got your own perfectly curated stream of content. And this makes it so that rather than spending 30 minutes or an hour a day, you know, whatever it is that you're spending during the day, during the week to schedule out content for Facebook, now you've got it all in one location. You've got it all saved, all of those feeds, all of those pages, and you can just hover right over. You can share those right to Facebook with ease and keep that consistency in the type of content that you're sharing over on Facebook. To how to connect and share influencer content on Facebook to start to build those relationships within your industry, within your niche, and get to know these people a little bit better, because you know so many different benefits of influencer marketing. Of course, you know, influencers can extend your reach within your target market. They can also expose your brand and your offerings to their huge fan base. But but. And of course, there's always that but. It's going to take a little bit of work on your behalf to build up those relationships. And that's where sharing their content really comes in. And I used Mari Smith as an example, but also does a wonderful job in leveraging other people's contact and shining a spotlight on them as the influencer or the expert within their respective fields. So here she shares John Loomer's piece on Facebook changes, and she breaks them all down for her audience. So it could be something like this that you could share with your audience to say, wow, you know, Facebook has made a bunch of changes. Mari's put together this quick roundup of John's excellent article that you've got to read. So to share influencer content, you're first going to identify and write down who are those top 20 influencers within your industry or niche. And I'm going to give you a couple of places to look for them. Then you're going to evaluate their content and share what's relevant. Certainly, you don't want to just start sharing everything and anything and spamming your Facebook newsfeed because you're desperate to make that connection. You just want to share what's relevant, what's important, what's valuable to your audience. And then 3, you can also pull quotes and wisdom, you know, from their blog, their podcast, or their webinar. Everybody likes to see their content repurposed. And so repurposing their content in a way that you are recognizing them for their thought leadership, for that wisdom, tagging them in that, it's a win-win. It's a win for your audience, and it's also a win for you in building those relationships with influencers. So to find those influencers, if you're not sure how to make those connections, or if you're just a little timid and you're unsure where to start, here's some just top 5 different ways that you can find them. Little Bird, a tool that lets influencers, your network and your connections. So it's kind of like peer reviews, where your peers are out there saying, hey, this person does a really great job in our industry. And you're able to see that through a whole analysis and breakdown of those influencers. Keyhole, another tool that on the surface looks like a hashtag tool, but what it does is it shows you influencers who are using those hashtags, who are talking about the topics that you're interested in. Twitter lists, one of my favorites. You can create your own Twitter list, but more than that, you can search and find other people's Twitter lists that have those influencers that are within marketing or social media or within the health industry. You know, whatever your industry, you can search those within an advanced Twitter search. YouTube, look for those people that are doing tutorials, kind of walkthroughs, step-by-steps, tips around your keyword research, and you can never ever overlook number 5, which is networking. And this is the tough one, right? This is a tough one for a lot of people, where whether it's online or you're a local business, it's getting involved in the conversation. I put together a quick little graphic for a Twitter chat that I co-host, Influencer Chat. And I way to connect with influencers, but don't ask for a kiss before the first date. And it's really all about getting to know people, sharing their content, giving them a reason to want to get to know you a little bit better, and giving your audience at the same time a way to interact and engage with these influencers and learn more about them, learn more about the value that they're bringing to your industry, and understand why they're so important to you, why they're so important to the business as a whole. All right, so next up is finding some buzzworthy content in your industry. Lots of different ways to do this, but I'm going to give you a very specific tip on how you can use one of our favorite tools, and it's a tool that we use every single day to really get to the bottom of what's happening right now, what's trending, what are people talking about, and what is it that I could share and maybe jump in on within that conversation. But I will warn you that this tactic only works if you follow conversations and jump in on conversations that are relevant. There's that darn word again. So important. Sharing everything you're talking about leads or rolls back up into what your overall goal is for your Facebook marketing. So what you're going to do is you are going to hop over to BuzzSumo, and you're going to look at their Trending Now feature to explore trending topics in your industry or niche. So first of all, you're going to look to posts with high engagement. You're going to see how active the conversation is around that. You're going to take a look at how many times that's been shared. And what I love about BuzzSumo is you can filter down. So you can filter down by what's been trending within the last hour. Here I looked under, they have some categories, and I looked under marketing, so marketing content. And so I could just look at all marketing content over the last 24 hours, or I could get even more specific and whittle that down to the last 12 or 6 or 3 or even the last hour. And then as you scroll through, you'll be able to see all of the different factors that go into what made that content so popular. And so the idea is to take that, post that trending topic that you know is going to be interesting to your audience over on Facebook. As a whole, by nature, I think we love to lend our voice to conversations. We also love to get in on hot topics. So timing is everything when it comes to this. You really want to stick with those posts that have trended within the last 24 hours. And as you see, with so many different hot topics, it could be the last hour or 3 hours that you really need to jump on. You're especially interested in this. You've got a lot of comments. People are interactive on your Facebook page. I would definitely follow up. So follow up with whatever came of that, or what happened, or what was the outcome. And remember that one of the important pieces here is to position yourself as a thought leader. So putting context around that content is really important too when you're considering that trending content. And then look inside Quora. I think this is a very underutilized tip. You can look inside Quora for frequently asked questions that you can answer. I spend every day with inside Quora, whether I'm looking for something that's particular to a blog post I'm writing, whether I'm looking for something that I need a little more information around, you can research what people are talking about and think about what your answers would be to those top questions. Certainly, you have customers, you have your Facebook audience that are asking you questions all the time, but sometimes if we're not writing them down, we don't remember right off the top of our head. So you can mine Quora for those frequently asked questions that you can answer. So if you've not been in Quora, here's what it looks like. Very, very simple to use, and all based around those topics that are most important to you. So you're going to go ahead and just do a quick search. Do a quick search of an interesting topic, something that maybe you have thought about but have never written about or talked about, and it's something that you know would be important to your audience. So here I used how to supercharge your visual content as an example, and that's pretty specific, so I may not find a whole lot around that, but what you're going to get are results for all of the conversations that have been had around that, and you can just scroll through and you can see what the topics were, what the question was that somebody asked, and then you can read through that and think about how do I want to answer this? How does it position my company, help my company, by really putting myself in my audience's shoes, helping them understand that, supercharging their visual content is important because X, Y, Z. So just really thinking about what are those frequently asked questions, what's your, top community members or your clients asking all the time, and then how can you answer those from your audience's perspective? And then finally, take that answer and use it to create a unique graphic. So here we did exactly that, and we answered 5 requirements for visuals on social media. It's been a top question for us, so we just hopped into Canva and we put our 5 requirements for viral quote images, and it was proven text, legible font, high contrast, quality image, and logo. So you could take your answer, you could put it into a numbered list like this, you could put it into a quote, you could put it into the tip of the day, so many different ways that you could use your answer within a graphic, and then post this over on Facebook and of course all of your other social channels too. This one was a tweetable, but we shared it absolutely everywhere and did it over and over again with all different answers to different questions. And if you ask, why is visual marketing? Well, BuzzSumo found that Facebook posts with images see 2.3 times more engagement than those without images. So to me, it's a no-brainer to use visual marketing these days within every bit of your Facebook marketing. And we know that we are just visual creatures by nature. And as we're scrolling through that news feed at a rapid pace, those images are capturing our attention. They're what slows us down, what actually makes us, click through, take a look, and possibly take that next step with your business, with your brand. So if you're not using images, you really need to consider how you're using images within your business. And mining Quora for frequently asked questions for a way to position yourself as that go-to professional, as that person that knows how to solve their problem, that becomes that resource, is going to be another great way to continuously get people to come back to your Facebook page. And for us, it's really been that visual marketing, the key to our growth. So in 2015, Simply Measured took a look at our full year, and they found that we grew our Facebook page by 193%. And this is the important piece, with nearly no paid promotion. And the majority of that was done through visual marketing. So I would really encourage you to think about how you're using visuals, whether it's, within your blog posts that you're sharing on Facebook, whether it's those frequently asked questions, maybe it's the SlideShare we talked about, how you are presenting your company, your brand, creating that streamlined look and feel on Facebook so that people just instantly identify with your content, so that they know as they're streaming quickly that they know it's quality, so they can go there, their problem, and then it's content also that they can share with their audience, just like you're doing with all of that other content that you're finding, that you're curating, that you're sharing on your Facebook page. To jumpstart and find and share engaging and scientifically proven Facebook content, well, we have got a free download for you today, an infographic Facebook page, 30 simple ways that you could implement over 30 days, or depending on how quick you want to move, within one day, to create a profitable page. And each one of these is something proven within, that we have proven time and again on the Post Planner Facebook page, that we use on a daily basis to interact, to engage our audience, and to keep them inspired and keep our page growing. Because it's not enough to say we grew, 193% in 2015. What's important to us is that not only have we maintained that growth, but we've continued that huge growth spurt. And we want the same for you. We want to see you, be able to do it in an efficient way, in a way that's not taxing, that doesn't take up a ton of your time, that doesn't feel overwhelming or heavy. And I think sometimes when we talk about creating content, finding engaging content, you think, oh my gosh, this is going to take me, hours and hours throughout my week. And hopefully today here, what you've seen is it doesn't have to take a huge amount of time. It just needs to take a little bit of creativity. It needs to take some of maybe your old content and making it fresh and new again, or it takes finding other people's great content, making those connections, and starting to share that content out with your network to grow your business, to grow your brand, and to really become known within your industry, your area, your niche, your field, whatever it is, as that resource that, it's a one-stop shop. People don't have to go anywhere else to find exactly what they're looking for. So bit.ly.com/FB challenge-IG. You can also go to the tab right here within Webinar Jam. And if you just click on it, it'll take you directly over to that, or you can just download those 30 simple ways to really help launch, if you haven't launched your Facebook page, or reinvigorate your Facebook page and get that engagement going and start driving some traffic over to your website, to your blog, and enjoying all of the fruits of your labor. So thank you to everybody that was here today. Super excited to have you here with us as we kick off this new training, which, as I said, is just a little bit more detailed information into some of those things that we're talking single day, what a net apply of Facebook content. So we look forward to seeing you back here next week, or, well, yes, we are doing live events every single week. So make sure if you haven't connected with us, that you connect with us on Facebook, Facebook.postplanner. We'd love to hear your feedback as well with that hashtag #PPLive. Until our next live event, we will see you soon.